All right, guys. So the last section in chapter 3. Good chapter. One of my favorites. 3 and 6, probably my two favorite chapters. 4 is not bad too. All right. 3-7. Last section in the chapter. Okay. Perpendicular lines in the coordinate plane. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about before we get in here and get our hands dirty is what is a reciprocal? So think about it. What is a reciprocal? And a reciprocal, if I had 2/3, the reciprocal is 3/2. If I have -4/7, the reciprocal is -7/4. You take the fraction and you flip it. You take the fraction and you flip it. So if I had -6 and I wanted the reciprocal, some people like to put a 1 underneath it so then they can actually flip it and you get -1/6. Okay, so that's what a reciprocal is, and it's going to come into play in this section. Okay, and it talks about it right here. The slopes of perpendicular lines. Okay, so two lines, if we're talking about in the coordinate plane, two lines are perpendicular if and only if they probably say the product of their slopes equals -1. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that they have to be negative reciprocals of each other. Okay, negative reciprocals of each other. If you have two slopes that are negative reciprocals of each other, then the lines are perpendicular. So if I had -7/5 and 5/7, I take the negative reciprocal, I flip it and take the opposite. This is negative, the opposite's positive. I flip 7/5, I get 5/7. Those two slopes would be perpendicular. If you have 5 and 1/5, those two slopes are not perpendicular. They're reciprocals of each other, but they're not the opposite. They're not the negative reciprocal of each other. Okay, so that's kind of important. All right, so you might see points like this. So one of them is 0,3 and 3,1. Okay, and the other one is 0,3 and -4, -3. So we got to find the slopes. Okay, so this one would be 1 minus 3 over 3 minus 0. So you get -2/3. Then you go over here and -3 minus 3 over -4 minus 0. So this is going to be -6 over -4, which is 3/2. Well, what do you know? Guess what? If I multiply these two together, if I take -2/3 times 3/2, I get -1. If I look at this and say, is that the negative reciprocal of it? Yes, it is. So those two lines are perpendicular. Now, just like we did in the last section, there's times when you can just get it from a graph and you can count it out. So let's do that. Okay, so to find the blue one, okay, to find little baby boy blue, okay, we pick the point on the left and go to the point on the right. I always go up or down and then always to the right. So to get from here to here, I go down 1, 2, 3, down 3. Where is it? Right here, right? And then I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my blue slope is -3/6, which is -1/2. Let's check out the red. You have to start with the point that's on the left. This point is on the left. So I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up 6, over 1, 2, 3, That's 2 over 1. Are the lines perpendicular? Yes. I mean, it looks like it, but you can never say, oh, it looks like it, so it's got to be perpendicular. You can't say that, okay? You can't come out and say that. All right. So we've seen how to do it with formulas. We've seen how to do it when you look at a graph. Now let's look how to do it with an equation. So they'll say line H equals y, or line H is y equals 3/4 x plus 2. Line J equals y equals -4/3 x plus 1. And they want to know if these two are perpendicular. Let's look at their slopes. Is this slope a negative reciprocal of this slope? Why, yes it is. So therefore those lines are perpendicular. Now, I'm going to have you guys try this one, okay? This one's going to be a little bit harder. All right, I'm going to write them out like this. And I want you guys to get these equations in slope-intercept form, which means the equation says y equals something. And then I want you to compare the two slopes, and I want you to tell me if these two lines are perpendicular. So please, I am pleading with you, pause the video, okay? Pause that video and give it a shot. And then we'll come back and we'll take a look at it. So I hope you paused the video. We're looking to solve for y, so I'm going to go minus 4x, 5y equals -4x plus 2. Now I have to divide both sides by 5. Divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. Y equals -4/5 x plus 2/5. So there's one slope. Let's look at our other one. Minus 5x, 4y equals -5x plus 3. Divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. Y equals -5/4 x plus 3/4. So my slopes are -4/5 and -5/4. Are they perpendicular? No, they're both negatives. You can't have two lines both have negative slopes and have them be perpendicular. Their slopes have to be opposites. Okay? So there's one more type of problem to practice in this section, and it says something like this. Line 1 is y equals -2x plus 1. Line 2 is parallel to line 1. I'm going to say parallel. I got to take that out. That's the last section. The line is perpendicular to line 1 and passes through 4, 0. They want me to find an equation of a line. What are the two things you need for an equation of a line? Yes, slope and y-intercept. Here they don't give us either of those, but they're talking about the slope and they say it's perpendicular to this one, so that gives us a hint about the slope. What's true about perpendicular lines? Their slopes are negative reciprocals of each other. So the slope in one is -2, so my slope in line 2, I take the negative reciprocal, this is negative, so this one's going to be positive, and then flip it, 1/2. So my slope is 1/2, my point is 4, 0. I've got to plug that in. So I write down y equals mx plus b. My y is 0. My slope is 1/2. My x value is 4 plus b. 0 equals 1/2 of 4 is 2. 2 plus b, -2 minus 2, b equals -2. So your equation is going to be y equals 1/2 x minus 2. Just double check, look at your slopes. Are they negative reciprocals of each other? Absolutely, absolutely. So here's one for you guys to try before we wrap up section 3.7. Line 1 is going to be y equals 1/3 x plus 5. Line 2 is perpendicular to line 1 and passes through 6, 4. Find an equation of a line. So what I need you guys to do, I need you to pause the video and I need you to practice that. Okay? Pause the video and give that one a shot. All right, we're back. We're back. The two things you need for an equation of a line. You're sick of hearing it. I'm sick of saying it. I've been saying it for years. Okay? Slope and y-intercept. The slope is perpendicular to this one, which means it's a negative reciprocal. So 1/3 flips to 3/1, and this is positive, so the new one has to be negative. Okay? All right, so we got negative 3/1. Now my passes through 6, 4. So y equals mx plus b. Y equals 4. My slope is -3. My x is 6 plus b. 4 equals -18 plus b. Add 18, b is 22. Y equals -3x plus 22. All right? Man, I'm done. That's my 4th video for today. I am spent. Hopefully that makes sense. If you guys have questions, send me an email. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next meeting.